What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. It's finally springtime in Cleveland and I'm ready to start smoking. So today, as a first cook, we're going to be doing a pulled pork. And as you saw in the title of the video, I'm going to be doing a couple things to really optimize the flavor. You know, the problem with pulled pork is it's such a big piece of meat. It's hard to really get some deep smoke penetration, and that seasoning doesn't go really too deep. So I'm going to be doing two things to really optimize that flavor. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut that pork butt in half. So I did this last night. You're going to want to do this the night before. Did a light trim on it. I just scored the fat cap, which is just going to help the fat cap render out a little bit easier. And also you can get a little bit more seasoning in the meat. And then you're just going to cut it down the middle. Make sure you find that bone and you avoid that bone. You don't want to make a big slice and end up hitting that bone. So find the bone and then just find the middle and just cut cut it in half. And this is going to do two things for us. One, we're going to be able to season more of the meat, which is great. And two, we're going to be able to get, it's a smaller chunk of meat, so we're going to get better smoke on the meat. It's going to have better flavor at the end. Second thing we're going to do here is, I've been really into marinating lately. I did a brisket video at the end of last year, trying this for the first time, and it was the best brisket I've ever cooked. So if you haven't checked out that video, you should go check it out. It's you're not going to want to miss it. But we're going to be doing something very similar today. We're going to be using the same sauce, the Caribbean jerk wing sauce, actually. It's not too spicy. Trust me, my mom, she's tried it, and she hates spicy food, and it's not overpowering at all. We're only going to do this for 12 hours. So do it the night before. And what it's going to do, it's really going to add an extra depth of flavor. Now, it's not going to be, again, it's not going to be too spicy. It's just going to be, trust me, at the end, you'll be able to be like, wow, this is just an extra layer of flavor that you really want to try out. So you can experiment with sauces. I'm using a Caribbean jerk sauce, but I'm sure other sauces work as well. I'll probably experiment with that in the future. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to unwrap this thing and I'm going to dry it off and get as much of the marinade off as possible. And then we're going to season this thing up. So I'm going to put a little light layer of extra coarse black pepper on there, of course. And then I've been experimenting with this cowboy crust rub from Spiceology. It's actually an espresso chili blend. It's been pretty good on most stuff I've tried it on. Okay, these are seasoned up. I'm gonna let these sit for about 30 to 40 minutes. I'm gonna be smoking these fat side up. Let me go get that mill scale fired up. Today I'm smoking on my offset smoker. This is Millscale's 94-gallon offset. We're going to be smoking around 220 to 250 for the first several hours. I do have a meat thermometer in each piece of meat, so we'll be tracking the temperature that way. I do have a water pan in there in case you're interested, but I'm not going to spritz these or anything like that. I'm just going to let it roll, and once these hit about the 160 to 170 mark, I'll wrap them in some butcher paper. it's been about 6.5 hours. The meat is probing about 165 to 170. Bark looks good, color looks good. I'm gonna wrap these in some butcher paper now. I tend to stay away from foil just because I feel like it steams out the smoke, in my opinion, and it's not as smoky. But if you like doing foil, hey, feel free to keep using foil. There's no issue at all with that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put these into a foil container because I want to save the juices so that I can actually remix those juices back into the pork at the end. Now that the meat is protected, I'm going to bump up that smoker temperature to 300 to 325. This is typical. Once the meat's protected, bumping up that temperature is just going to allow for more fat to render out. Also, it's going to speed up that cook time as well. The pork's definitely going to take a few more hours before it's ready to go. I'm looking for a target temperature around 205 to 210. Pork is very forgiving, so you just definitely want to err on the side of more tender because we're going to be pulling this thing apart, so we want to make sure it's very tender. But yeah, we got a few more hours. I'll bring you guys back when we're closer to the finish line. It's been about 8.5 hours, and this thing, as you can see, is probing super tender. And if you're new to barbecue, this is exactly what you're looking for. You want to be super smooth, no resistance. You know, go use temperature as a guideline. Get yourself a meat thermometer, probe around, make sure everything's super smooth before you pull it off. At this point, what I'm gonna do is take the pork off. We're gonna let it rest a full hour, and then we'll pull it apart and I'll show you guys the end result. It's been about an hour that this pork's been resting on the counter, and wow, the house smells pretty good. That's a pretty good sign. I can tell by just unwrapping this thing's ready to fall apart, which is a really good sign as well. As far as pulling this apart, you don't really need to do anything special. You can buy, they have claws you can buy to pull it apart. I would just get yourself a pair of gloves. Make sure you have some cotton liner on there because this thing is definitely still piping hot even after an hour and about 15 minutes. So and then just take your hands and pull it apart and just take your time with it, and it comes apart. If you cooked it right, it should come apart really easy. So obviously this pork looked great, but how does it taste? Did it make a big difference? I would say yes. There's definitely a difference in flavor. It adds a little bit extra. You can tell there's a little more depth in the flavor. To be honest with you, I probably could have marinated it a little bit longer. I've done briskets for 12 and those are a little bit thinner, so I could probably get away with doing this for probably 15 plus hours. And next time I do it, I'll probably do it a little bit longer, just because I would want even more flavor. But definitely could taste the difference. I would definitely give this a try. If you're a beginner, I would save this, and you'll wow the socks off someone on your first cook. You'll be amazed with the flavor you can get. And even if you've been barbecuing for a while and you want a good reason to try doing pulled pork again, I would definitely give this a go. But anyways, tastes amazing. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. There you go, Ollie. Ooh.